welcome to Back to School Night 2020. Coming to you this year from my backyard in beautiful Southeast Portland. I hope you enjoyed a couple photos of my family to get us started. That was my older son, Hank, 4.5, younger son, Pete, 1.5, and my wife, Anna. Hank and Pete, hopefully Cleveland students someday. I live in the neighborhood. I'm out there. I'll mention it again in a moment. I got to tell you, I miss back to school night. I wish we could all get into the building, sit down, and get to know each other a little bit. But that's just not where we're at right now. I tell it to the students every week. It's not where we are, but we got to make the best of what we have. So here we go. Here's the first thing you need to know about me. I love what I do. I love my job. Helping your student learn is a dream for me. It's a dream come true. It really is. Even when we're facing all the challenges of distance learning, all the frustrations, all the difficulties, their energy still comes through to me, even across the screen. I see those sparks lighting up in their eyes as they learn something new, make connections, and it keeps me going. It's why I do it. So your students are worth it. They're worth every ounce of work, everything we do. All right, here's the next thing you need to know about me. I live in the Cleveland neighborhood. You might see me. If you do, you gotta say hi. Do what you want, but it might be our only opportunity to meet face-to-face this year. So to help you recognize me, I did this for the students early in the year. I'm gonna help you out with some props, right? You might see me wearing a hat. I often wear a baseball cap if it's sunny. Also, if it's sunny, you might see the sunglasses, right? So maybe you're looking for this out there on the streets of Southeast Portland. I like to run a lot. That's the next thing you can know about me. If I'm running, right? Maybe I'm wearing my sporty sunglasses. Could be. You gotta look for it. Of course, we're in a pandemic, so you might see the mask. No telling. But if you see me, say hi. I'd love to connect. I've told the students the same thing. I've heard from one already. I'm gonna show you a quick clip. This might help you recognize me as well. This is how we get around the neighborhood sometimes. All right, there it was, me pulling Pete to daycare in the bike trailer. You might see me huffing and puffing up the hills. You might see me pushing that thing like a stroller too while I run. Whatever it is, if you want to say hi, I'd love to connect. I told the students, yell at me across Powell Boulevard, stop traffic on Holgate, do what you have to do. I love being part of this community, and I want to do everything I can to keep that community spirit alive, even while we're in our distance learning mode, all staying safe at home. All right, I'm going to run you through a little bit of the class business right now, help get you up to speed on what our class is all about, and then I'll be back for another little fun segment at the end of this video. All right, let's learn a little bit about IB Environmental Systems and Societies, or as I like to call it, IBESS. Here we have our IBESS. Can't pass up a good bird pun. All right, I am Alex Fuller, the instructor. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, so sometimes I get to repurpose a Cleveland, Ohio t-shirt as a Cleveland High School t-shirt. It's a pretty good time. I went to college in Vermont at Middlebury College, got a Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies, and then moved out here to Oregon when my wife went to Lewis and Clark Law School. I went to their Graduate School of Education and Counseling to get a Master of Arts in Teaching. I taught for 5 years at a high school up in Vancouver, Washington. Got hired to teach science and Spanish up there, and then got a job offer to come down to Cleveland High School, which I gladly accepted, and I'm thrilled to be here. All right, IB, Environmental Systems and Societies. It's an interdisciplinary class about environmental science and about how humans relate to and affect the environment. It's cross-listed within the IB program, within the sciences and the societies requirements. And it's a one-year course, a one-year SL course, so students can take the IB assessment at the end of this year if they choose to. And I'll talk about that again in a few minutes. All right. It covers a lot of ground, this class does. We start with the foundational unit that we're working on right now about things like systems theory, feedback loops. We've been talking a lot about climate change already. We're going to move into some talk of environmental values, some themes that'll come up throughout the course of the year. Then we move into some study of ecosystems and ecology, building on what students have done in their biology class. Talk about some biodiversity and conservation, water, soil, and atmospheric systems. Climate change obviously is a theme that runs throughout the year, but it gets its own unit as well. And then wrap it up with some human systems and resource use. Now, I would recommend, if you want to know any more about the topics we're studying or any of these policies that I'm going to describe briefly in the next couple minutes, I would strongly recommend that you watch the syllabus description video, which is linked right underneath this video in the Back to School Night page with all the teachers. I go through the syllabus and talk about this stuff in more detail. That is also on our Canvas page, so students can check that out at any time. All right, attendance, or how am I here? Synchronous classes, all they have to do is join the Zoom call. As long as they have a name on the screen that I can recognize first and last, I can get a report of who's in the call and mark them present that way. They will find the link to our Zoom calls and everything else on Canvas. For our asynchronous classes, they should just check Canvas for assignments and then do the assignments. I'm also, on our Wednesdays, we have a short asynchronous class. I'm posting an announcements and class video, class business video at that time. My goal is to save time in our synchronous class for the most important learning activities. So it's really crucial that students watch that announcement video because the information contained within those videos will not be repeated in our synchronous class. So that is their opportunity to get up to speed on all of our class business. All right, grades are going to follow the 7-point IB rubric. So 6s and 7s will get an A, 5s a B, 3 to 4 is a C. Below that, really, students are not demonstrating proficiency yet. So I would encourage strongly for all scores to be above that range. 20% of the grade is formative assessments. This is how students build knowledge, and 80% is summative. This is how they demonstrate their knowledge. But here's what you got to know about the grading policy. There is one goal. I have one single goal for my grading policy, which is to help students learn, help them do their best learning. And so to that end, all assignments, other work, projects, etc., will be accepted for full credit until the end of the quarter. And any assignment, test, or project may be improved as many times as the student wants until they are satisfied with the grade. And again, there's details and a whole timeline for this in the syllabus, which I would encourage you to check out. But that's it. Improvement is learning. So I strongly encourage students, don't be satisfied with a score below where you know you can be. I love working with students to improve their work, improve their understanding, because really that is how we learn. And that's my job, is to help your students learn. All right, if they want a little extra help or just check in, talk about the course, they can check in at office hours, which is 12:35 to 1:50 on Wednesdays. They will find a Zoom link on Canvas. All right, let's talk IB assessment for a minute. Here's our wonderful IB coordinator, Ms. Jennifer Wyant Owens. She's going to have an online informational meeting October 7th from 6 to 7 p.m. So if your student is thinking about taking some IB exams, we would strongly recommend that you check in on this meeting. I will tell you that a lot of IB courses this year are really feeling the squeeze of the distance learning model. We have many fewer instructional hours. So that puts some extra responsibility on the students to do some preparation for the exams outside of class. That is absolutely the case for environmental systems and societies. And I will have a document out to the students within the next week or two detailing exactly what would be expected of them outside of class in order to be prepared to take this exam in May. All right, online registration opens up October 5th. There will be a link on the Cleveland High School website. It's $119 per exam, and there's lots of financial assistance available, so don't let that be a barrier. The registration deadline is about a month later, November 2nd, and then external exams will be in May. Internal assessments for us is probably going to be right after winter break. They are on a different timeline in each of our classes. All right, most IB courses are 2 years. This is an exception, right? So if you want to take the Environmental Systems and Societies IB exam, this May coming up is the time to do it. So now is the time to register. So these would be your 1-year courses up on the screen. Others are going to be a 2-year course, right? So you would wait till the end of your 2nd year to register for that exam. All right, hopefully that answers some of your questions about the class. As I mentioned, definitely check out that syllabus video for more details on all the topics I covered. And feel free to get in touch if you have any more questions. All right, for our final feature of the Back to School Night video, we are going to play a game that I have done with the students a couple times. It is called Where in Portland is Mr. Fuller Today? I always start with some clues, so here they are. We are in Southeast Portland for this one. And I can tell you that prior to visiting this location, I rode my bike with my family to IBESS Fried Chicken, highly recommended. Picked up some dinner and then headed to this spot for a picnic. So take a look, see if you can figure out where we were. There you have it. Where were we on that beautiful Sunday evening here in Portland? If you think you know, you can leave your guess in the comments right below this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please say hi. If you see me out there, I'd love to connect. And stay in touch. You can get me through email or on Remind, and I look forward to seeing your students in class.